Welcome to the weather forecast on the CIA TV channel. Dear friends, today we're going to be breaking down the accurate and reliable weather across southern Canada, the United States, and the tropics. The weather pattern, known as the Ring of Fire pattern, is going to bring a big but very severe heat wave to the United States in the coming weeks. Now, looking at the temperatures this afternoon, we're seeing extreme heat again across the Midwest, the central Great Lakes, and here into the deep Northeast, where temperatures are in the upper 60s to the lower 80s with less humidity north of the line. South of the line, we're seeing a lot of heat, and it's sweltering across parts of Kansas, Oklahoma, and into Texas, where we're in the upper 90s to the lower 100s, and that's just your air temperature. The heat index is much higher than it was this afternoon. Right now, we're still looking at 3 separate areas of severe weather across the high plains, including parts of southeast Montana, the central Dakotas, into Nebraska, northwest Kansas, into Illinois, into southern Indiana, southern Ohio, into northern Kentucky, and West Virginia, and then into the I-95 corridor, including parts of Boston, Hartford, and even down into New York City and Long Island. This is an isolated threat for showers and thunderstorms that could become severe. Right now, the biggest danger that these storms could still bring tonight in this overnight time frame would be some damaging hail, again across the high plains, southeast Montana, into South Dakota and western Nebraska. And then let's look at the scary tornado threat across southern South Dakota, northern Nebraska, with the possibility of tornadoes. This also extends into central and southern Illinois, southern Indiana, and near the Ohio River in Kentucky and Ohio, and then up to the northeast, including Boston, Hartford, and Providence as we move through the rest of the evening. Now, another small risk is for isolated severe thunderstorms in central and Montana and in the Dakotas, Nebraska, western Minnesota there, and then from parts of Kentucky, Tennessee, including the Smoky Mountains and the Cumberland Plateau, all the way down to Georgia, parts of the Carolinas, including the lowlands of South Carolina. That's where isolated severe thunderstorms are possible. And again, this time we have a risk of tornadoes in central and eastern South Dakota, and that risk is low right now. Let's start in the eastern United States. We'll go into the central United States and then the western United States. So looking at the 6 a.m. time frame this morning, we have some scattered severe storms moving across the northeast and down into the Ohio Valley. They're scattered all over the place. As we go through the morning hours, the storms in the northeast will start to weaken in intensity as the instability starts to ease, and then those storms will move offshore as well. Now, back to the Ohio Valley, including parts of Indianapolis, Bloomington, and Evansville, Indiana. In the Louisville, Cincinnati, and Dayton area, there's a very low chance of some scattered or locally severe thunderstorms, mostly with damaging winds, hail, and a very low risk of tornadoes, along with very heavy rain. That rain will continue into early Tuesday morning. Much of that rain will tend to move south of the Ohio River, including Lexington, Richmond, Charleston, West Virginia, and into the Smoky Mountains in eastern Tennessee. By Tuesday afternoon, we'll see more storms develop mostly to the southeast in parts of the eastern Tennessee Valley. We're talking Chattanooga, Knoxville, and then further east from there, so Asheville, Raleigh, Columbia, Myrtle Beach, Atlanta, all the way down to Jacksonville, and even Gainesville, Florida, could see some scattered and isolated showers and storms on Tuesday afternoon. They could be severe. As the sun sets, we'll lose some of that instability, and those storms will weaken in scope and intensity. Looking across the central United States, we've got some stronger storms tonight in central and southern Illinois, as well as Missouri. Other storms will be present across Montana and the western Dakotas. These hailstones will come in and get a little more intense after dark, so that could bring that damaging hail threat that we talked about, sometimes golf ball and tennis ball size. Isolated tornado threats, especially here across southern parts of South Dakota, northern Nebraska overnight, and then obviously the damaging wind threat at 60 to 70 miles per hour. A cluster of damaging winds could develop in North Dakota overnight into early Tuesday morning, heading toward the Bismarck-Fargo area, for example. And then another cluster develops following that across northern parts of North Dakota, and that will also move southeast, potentially across the Twin Cities by Monday afternoon. So the Twin Cities area, Minneapolis, St. Paul, we're talking about we could see some stronger storms in the mid-morning, a little bit of a break in the mid-afternoon, and then stronger storms in the mid-afternoon, late afternoon, and then we've got to keep an eye on the high plains again. Very active in the central United States through Monday, and that's not all. We'll have more clusters moving through the north central plains into the upper Midwest. So again, the Minneapolis-St. Paul area Monday night into Tuesday morning could see not only some heavier rainfall, but more severe weather. And heavy rainfall here across the upper Midwest could be very heavy across parts of North Dakota, parts of eastern South Dakota, central and southern Minnesota, into western Wisconsin, all the way up through the upper Mississippi Valley. We could see areas with 2 to 4 inches of rain. Also an area here into Illinois, southern Indiana could also see about 2 to 5 inches of rain. The western United States, as we move through here into the evening, again, we're still seeing some isolated, widely scattered thunderstorms. Those thunderstorms will taper off throughout the night. However, some light rain will develop in parts of Oregon into southeastern Washington state, central and northern Idaho into western Montana. It's going to be a wet start to your Monday, and it's going to continue throughout the day as we're going to have some showers continuing into Oregon, Washington state, Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, and then the monsoonal flow will kick in. So we're just going to see a lot of different thunderstorms develop Monday afternoon out west, and then into Tuesday, that's going to continue. Now let's look at our temperatures as we start Monday. Very warm, especially in the southeast, where we'll have record lows in the mid to upper 70s as we start Monday. While that's not uncommon, it's pretty warm even in the southeast to start, and that's where we'll end up Monday afternoon. Back to near 100 degrees, we're talking Dodge City and Wichita, Oklahoma City, Stillwater, all the way to Wichita Falls and Dallas-Fort Worth. We can at least see cooler air, but it's still muggy and humid across parts of the Ohio Valley to the northeast. The northeast is a cooler area, so if you want cooler air, head to Maine. Warmer air will start to move more into the Midwest on Tuesday up into the 90s. We'll get to Omaha and Des Moines, and then as we get into Wednesday, temperatures will be in the 90s, mid-90s, up into the Chicago, Milwaukee Lakeshore there, all the way up to Green Bay. Temperatures could be in the low to mid-90s, and those heat indexes could reach 110 in parts of the Midwest. Record highs could be reached in the lower Mississippi Valley. Shreveport, Monroe, Little Rock, Memphis, and Jackson, Mississippi could all reach 100 degrees on Wednesday. And then as we head into Thursday and Friday, yeah, you get the idea. There's going to be more heat spreading across the central and eastern United States. It's all because of this big ridge of high pressure that's sitting here and rotating clockwise across the southeast. It's going to peak in intensity midweek, Wednesday, July 23. As soon as you step outside, you can feel it, and that's exactly what we're going to see as we head into the afternoon in the Midwest midweek. The high temperatures and humidity are really going to generate storm energy. So let's look across the Midwest and into the northern plains. That's an incredible amount of storm energy. In fact, we hit over 7,000 joules per kilogram, which is a huge amount of storm energy on Tuesday, and that's again an area that we have to watch. The Twin Cities have 4 scattered severe thunderstorms again that could actually be quite significant on Tuesday, July 22. And then the dark blue area around there, Montana, the Dakotas, again Nebraska, Wisconsin, northern Iowa, and then an area in southern Georgia, northern Florida, we have to watch for individual severe weather on Tuesday as well. So you see, in the central United States, we're definitely going to have storm complexes continuing to move across the upper Midwest, the northern plains on Tuesday morning, Tuesday afternoon, and Tuesday evening. And all of this could be not only torrential rain with high humidity, but it could also have damaging winds, sometimes even quite significant if we get an organized cluster of storms forming. We're going to be watching for large to very large hail and isolated tornadoes, and that's going to continue into Wednesday morning, July 23rd. Now the rain is going to be very heavy again here, as we mentioned, the Twin Cities, Rochester, Minnesota, Duluth, all the way up to La Crosse, Green Bay, Madison, Milwaukee, Chicago. Well, we could see about an inch or even 3 inches of rain just in the Tuesday into Wednesday morning time frame, And then Tuesday into Wednesday, we'll continue to see some very heavy rain that continues into Thursday and Friday. So as we go through this week, you'll see that the northern plains and the upper Midwest, all the way into the Great Lakes region, will be the epicenter of the thunderstorm clusters, especially in the afternoon into the night. And that's where we could see strong winds, large hail, tornadoes, and some heavy downpours again. The airflow around that ridge of high pressure moves clockwise, and that means that the heat that we're seeing is building up from Texas north into Oklahoma and then moving north again into Kansas. The center of that ridge of high pressure will continue to grow westward over time and move back westward into the desert southwest. So the epicenter of the heat wave is going to be the Rocky Mountains and the southern plains, where temperatures will reach the 90s and triple digits, and then the northwesterly winds will push up into the upper Midwest, the Great Lakes, and the Northeast. That's where we're going to see clusters of thunderstorms through August 5, bringing the threat of more damaging winds, large hail, tornadoes, and torrential rain. We're going to start to see temperatures rise from Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, west all the way up to California, and this is actually pretty well modeled here across parts of Texas, the southern plains, up to the Rocky Mountains, and even the Pacific Northwest is starting to warm up, where eastern Canada, the Great Lakes, the Ohio Valley, and the Northeast by the second week of August could actually be a little bit cooler. We will continuously update the storm situation in the next news. Please subscribe to the channel to follow. Thank you for watching the news on CIA TV channel.